In a hauntingly empty city, Riley and Janai navigate the eerie streets, feeling the weight of isolation. As they scavenge for supplies, fear grips their hearts, but their love for each other remains a beacon of hope. Little do they know that their journey is about to lead them to a mysterious cave, where ancient inscriptions reveal a world beyond their wildest imaginations. Brace yourself for an extraordinary adventure of fear, love, and boundless possibilities as they embrace a reality untouched by time. Get ready to be captivated from the very first moment. On the beautiful roads of Iceland, a young American couple arrives to enjoy a wonderful vacation together. Riley brings along an old camera to capture memories, and Janai happily poses for the pictures. Once they settle into their hotel, they embark on a tour around Iceland, exploring active geysers and hot springs. During dinner, Janai wonders if finding film for the old camera might be a challenge, but Riley assures her that he's brought enough and declines her offer to buy a modern one. He prefers preserving moments with all their imperfections rather than relying on computer corrections. As the days pass, they visit various tourist spots like a historic church and stunning waterfalls. One night, Janai wakes up and glimpses a mysterious bright light in the sky, but it quickly vanishes. The next morning, they head downstairs for breakfast, only to find the buffet empty and no hotel staff around. The streets outside are eerily deserted and silent as well. Despite checking the time to ensure it's not too early, they wonder if it's a special holiday or event. They venture into different buildings, but there is no one to be found. It's as if everyone in the city has vanished, leaving only Riley and Janai behind. Panicked and desperate to find answers, they try calling their relatives, but no one answers. Riley checks the television and discovers that all news channels are down, and social media is silent. With their anxiety growing, they return to their hotel room, where Riley confirms that the internet is working, but there have been no updates on news sites since the previous night. In a state of disbelief, Riley searches security cameras across the world, only to find empty streets everywhere. Despite their denial, they finally have to accept the truth: they are completely alone. They try to remain hopeful and attempt to search for people once more, but the result is always the same: an empty city with no signs of life. Feeling increasingly agitated and desperate for a solution, Riley spots a car with an open window and they use it to explore the city more thoroughly, but their efforts remain fruitless. They even venture out into the countryside, but the outcome is unchanged: no one else is there. Janai starts to wonder if it's the apocalypse, and upon Riley's urging, she tries to contact her mother again, but there's still no response. With no other options, they try to find comfort in each other's company. As night falls, they return to the hotel, and Janai, exhausted and upset, becomes irritable when asking Riley to close the blinds. The following morning, Riley wakes up early and attempts to wake Janai, but she's still in a bad mood and doesn't want to leave the bed. Riley gives her space for a while before returning to her, and she questions how they'll get back home, but he doesn't have an answer. Janai still misses home, so Riley tries to lift her spirits by making a gingerbread latte she enjoys. Although it's not perfect, Janai appreciates the effort. Afterward, they decide to gather supplies from a nearby grocery store. Janai takes only a few items at first, but Riley is in survival mode, pushing trolleys filled with groceries. Then, they search for a new car with more space to carry all the things they want, as there's no one to stop them now. Once they return to the hotel, Riley announces it's time for an upgrade and they look for a nice house to stay in. After finding a suitable place, Riley quickly makes himself comfortable, but Janai wonders if it's really as simple as it seems. They visit a clothing store, where Janai initially picks out only a couple of items, but Riley reminds her of their situation, and together, they try on various outfits, bringing some fun back into their lives. They also grab some alcohol, enjoying drinks while playing Monopoly and engaging in playful banter. The next morning during breakfast, Janai ponders if they are being tested, and in return, Riley asks her if she believes in God and if everything happens according to his plan. Janai responds that belief and faith are two different things. Riley tries to comfort her by saying that they have the whole world at their disposal to do whatever they want. They drive to the countryside, and Janai feels so carefree that she puts her feet on the window, losing her shoes to the wind. They reach geothermal pools, where Riley lays a cloth on the grass, and they cuddle together. When Riley takes a nap, Janai removes her clothes and jumps into the pool, and he follows suit. They take a nap together, and later, Janai goes for a walk through beautiful fields. Riley takes pictures of her amidst the flowers. In the evening, they return to the city, and in a grocery store, Riley acts playful like a child and accidentally hurts his arm. They agree to have a romantic dinner, but Janai can't shake off what happened in the store and warns Riley to be careful without doctors or firefighters around. Riley thinks she's overreacting, which upsets Janai, leading to an argument, and she walks off in frustration. Riley walks through the deserted city with a bouquet and finds Janai in a bad mood at the house they claimed. He promises to be more careful in the future. Janai talks about her favorite book, which she didn't bring on vacation. Riley suggests finding another copy, but Janai values her own copy as a gift from her father, holding all the important memories of her life, like the moment she first confessed her love for him. Riley reminds her that they have each other and the beauty of nature, and they can build the rest together. Janai, however, still longs to go back home, but they're stuck in this mysterious world with no way back. After more excursions and pictures, they return home and discover the tap water isn't running. An argument over yogurt expiration triggers more tension between them, with Janai expressing concern about limited supplies, and Riley suggesting they can plant and hunt. Later, Riley swims alone while Janai visits a church and talks to a statue in search of meaning. On another trip, they explore hot springs and a beach with volcanic rocks, but Janai ruins the moment by pointing out their lack of drinking water. An argument ensues about appreciating beauty versus practicality. Janai leaves Riley in frustration inside an abandoned plane. Janai spends the night in the car in the middle of nowhere. When they reunite the next morning, they don't speak but share a drink before returning to the city together. Riley takes photos of graffiti and public art while Janai looks for notifications on her laptop, longing to connect with others. Later, Janai prays in a church while Riley collects pieces for a project. In an elevator, Riley gets startled by the doors closing but finds them reopening. At home, he keeps himself busy building contraptions, while Janai enjoys the company of animals, seeking a connection with life. The couple travels again, and Janai listens to old messages to remember loved ones' voices. After exploring glaciers, they sit together and Janai reflects on the powerful force of nature, speculating that maybe God lost patience with the world. However, Riley remains hopeful and refuses to give up on their relationship. They return to the city, and Janai finds a place to develop the pictures they took. Unfortunately, her excitement fades when she discovers all the flowers are dead. Riley suggests looking for flowers elsewhere to change their surroundings. They come across a lakeside cabin with a fireplace, and while Riley gathers wood, they unexpectedly encounter another person named Nils. Nils seems unwell, and they share their supplies with him, bringing him inside. Nils confirms that he hasn't seen anyone else and came to the cabin to face the end of the world if it happens. He appears resigned to his fate, which irritates Riley, who tries to encourage him to survive. In the middle of the night, while Riley sleeps, Janai talks to Nils about their vacation and her longing for home. Nils shares his own story of being disconnected from his family due to a life at sea. He mentions the Welsh word hireth, which means grief for a home that can never be returned to or one that never existed. The next morning, they discover that Nils passed away in his sleep. Janai feels uncertain about burying him, leading to an argument between her and Riley about focusing on finding more people versus prioritizing survival. They return to the city, where Janai starts marking abandoned houses with duct tape. Riley tries to convince her to come home, but she believes there's no home in this world. Riley continues building a windmill and later tries to connect with Janai again. He reminds her of the river that originated from the glacier they sat on, emphasizing the perseverance of life. They embrace and share a moment of emotional connection. During dinner, they use up their last water, and Janai receives an email on her laptop, hoping it's from someone else, but it's just a photo sent by Riley. Disheartened and frustrated, she finally accepts the reality that they are alone. The next morning, Riley finds a large envelope with his name on it containing the developed photos. Worried about Janai's reaction, he searches for her and finds her car parked near the geothermal pool. To his devastation, he discovers Janai's lifeless body floating in the water. She couldn't bear the situation anymore and ended her life. Riley retrieves her body from the water and considers following her, but his survival instincts take over. Riley mourns over Janai's body and eventually decides to walk away, leaving her behind. He returns to his car and starts driving away, unsure of what will happen now that he is truly alone.